Hello everybody, this is a Shadowbox and welcome to episode 2 of Air Hauler 2. As you can see by our company cash down here, we have made some progress. We've done quite a lot of jobs off camera. Us and Blake Johnson. Mr. Johnson is actually on his way to pick up the remainder of this seafood, and then he's going to take it back down to Columbus, and I think that'll clear out his log, so we could get him working on something else. But actually, he's kind of been flying all night because I set him a couple of jobs before going to bed last night. So maybe we'll let him do that and then let him have a break. Because we have to go we're currently in Holland, Michigan, and we're supposed to be flying cosmetics from Holland down to Dayton. And I'm hoping we can fit it all in one load, because that's basically a 200-mile flight, and that's going to take us a little while to do. But we also have this job from 60G to Rakhine, which is between the Twin Cities, maybe? Yeah, Milwaukee's a Twin... No, Minnesota's a Twin Cities. I don't know. We're going here. That's a $9,000 job for delivering 600 pounds of TVs, but see, this expires in a few days, and this one expires today. So we're going to be doing this one today. And then we've also got automotive parts here. What I'm thinking, if I can make everything work, like I want to fly everything down to Dayton and then do this one, since I'll be right here. And that's a nice short 676 pounds of automotive parts for over $8,000. So that would be, very easy. And it's only 29 miles. Fast job. So, if anything, we might assign Blake to take care of these televisions for us. Since he'll be down here at Columbus. Well, are there any more available jobs from, he's going to be finishing up at Columbus. We got potatoes, $5,000 here. Nothing originating from down south. Yeah, that's from Toledo to Tell City. So I think we will just go ahead and assign the televisions to him. So he'll be done in Columbus and then jump up here. We'll let him rest in Columbus a little while because this isn't going anywhere. So yep, let's just go ahead and do this. I'll see you when we're in the simulator. Alright, well, that was an adventure getting this to start up. So that wasted about, 20 minutes. So we have less than 2 hours to get this down to Dayton. So we need to get going. First, we can't neglect to check our airplane, though. It says it's in like new condition, so that's good enough for me. Now I need to bring up the fuel. Should have about 24 gallons. That's what I purchased. I know, we were at 50%. That's 61%. There we go. That'll work. 25 gallons, that's what I had. Alright, so now we just need to start with the right tank. Let's get this primed. Parking brake needs to come on. Crack the throttle. Perfect. Right, Radio Master. That can come on a standby. Now we can get our nav lights on. Alright. Do we have a flight plan loaded up? Nope, we don't. We are going direct to... I believe it's K-Day. Ah, crap. Well, let's try that again. There. Success. Alright, we're going to be taking off on runway 5 for a southeast departure-ish. I guess 12 would be better for that, wouldn't it? But 12 is also grass, that's alright.
Hotel, Lima, Mike, traffic, Hyper, November 56730 is taxiing to runway 12.
Alright, we don't really need this yet, but that's alright. Alright, parking brakes released. I don't think we're going to make that, so let's just do a flight sim pushback of Shift P. Alright, so that's runway 5 there. I think we can get to 12 by turning left out of here. No, we didn't listen to the weather. We probably should. We don't really have that option anymore. Oh well. This is runway 30. So we need to taxi to the end of this runway. And flick our transponder on as well as our strobes. And I am going entirely too fast. Put in a notch of flaps. This is going to be a short grass takeoff, so... Grass runway crossing asphalt. That doesn't really seem like a good idea, but hey, I'm not an airport designer. Maybe with the flaps we'll be able to take off before the beginning of the asphalt runway. By the way, I thought about making our second base up here in Holland, but this airport is so tiny we wouldn't be able to use it like pretty quickly. You'll see when we get into the air, even that paved runway, it's really short. It's like 1,000 feet. Mixture up to full rich. We're going to be departing to the south.
Hotel, Lima, Mike, traffic, Hyper, November 56730, taking off runway 12, departure to the south.
Oh yeah, I lifted off in plenty of time. Yeah, see how short that asphalt runway is? We could maybe land a Beechcraft like Duke here. Maybe a Twin Otter if we were able to push it, but nothing further. I do really want a base of operations in this area, though, because I kind of want to do flights to the Upper Peninsula from here. There's another airport that we're going to pass here called K-Biv. What is it? Like Tulip City? Yeah, Tulip City. And that's a little bit bigger. It's only got one runway, but it's a longer runway. I think we might even be able to operate like Q4s out of that. So, we'll just have to see. We're done with the advisory for now, or VFR, so yeah, we're all good. We can click the fuel pump off. We're on the right tank, and the right tank's got 13 gallons in it still. I was able to fit all the cargo going down to Dayton in this one trip. However, I had to empty my fuel to about 50% in order to do it. So we're going to be kind of pushing our range here. You can see our range is 195 nautical miles, and we have 193 to go to get to Dayton. Once we get to our cruising altitude and I'm able to lean out the mixture, that should increase. We should have a nice buffer of like 20 or 30 miles, which is still kind of pushing it, but I'm still hand flying the plane, just kind of following my GPS. There's K-Biv. See, that's more of a small regional airport. I feel like we could operate Twin Otters and maybe even a Q400 out of there to go up to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And do it cheaply, too. Eventually, I'd like to have a base at Grand Rapids International Airport and operate up to the Northern Peninsula, or the Upper Peninsula, out of there, but that is going to be a lot cheaper to initially operate out of. Everything's looking good. Our cruising altitude today is going to be 6,500 feet. So our range is up to 203 nautical miles now, and I haven't even leaned out the mixture yet. So we should be good. This is just the most I've ever pushed the range of the Piper. I mean, obviously, it could have about double the range if we had full fuel tanks, but we don't. We have half fuel tanks, or halfway full fuel tanks. And apparently this flight is going to take us an hour and 51 minutes so far. Hopefully we'll be able to get that to under an hour and a half, because I believe the job expires at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I may be using some time acceleration, so I'm pretty sure it goes by flight sim time. So if we use time acceleration, it won't impact the ability of the job to be completed or not. As far as I'm aware, I guess this will be a good test of it. I believe the job expires at like 1:20. We got like nearly a 2-hour flight so far. But once we're at cruising altitude and cruising speeds, that estimated time might go down. Because we're still getting like 1,000 feet a minute in vertical speed. Trim down a little bit. Take some of this pressure off the yoke. I do really like this plane. I'm trying to convince myself to buy the Comanche from A2A, but honestly, I don't use the other A2A aircraft that I already have enough for me to buy another one. I need to get some time in the ones that I have first. So for that reason, I'm kind of thinking about buying a Cessna 182, which isn't really better than the Piper. be honest. As far as for our company. But I just kind of want to fly it. I don't know, we'll see. I really want to get the Real Air B60. Once I get the Real Air B60, I probably won't be flying much of anything else until we're able to get like the Twin Otter or a King Air. Alright, so we can go and flick the autopilot master on. Oh, we just passed our cruising altitude. Whoops. Some nose down trim, and I'm going to try to get back down there. Alright, let's get altitude hold engaged here. And course hold. Altitude hold didn't take. Let's re-intercept. Got some nose up trim. And altitude hold. There we go. Hands off the controls. And let's start leaning out. We gotta pull the RPM back a little bit. Now let's lean out. We want to get about 9 gallons an hour. Look at that, 325 nautical mile range. So that's just fine. And now our estimated time of arrival, now that we're at cruising speed, is 1 hour and 25 minutes. So, we'll see. Hopefully we make it in time. I will see you guys when we get closer to our destination. Oh, let's give it some nose up trim. Make it happy first. There we go. Take a look outside really quick. I love this plane. And I know if I love this plane, I would really love the Comanche. The Comanche might actually be a nice improvement on our fleet as well. I don't know, it's just $60 of real life money. Don't know if I want to spend that much. If we do another season of Air Hauler 2, I probably will get the Comanche and start with that instead of with the Cherokee. We'll see. Anyway, guys, I will see you when we're getting closer to our destination airport. Alright, everybody, welcome back. We are about 27 miles, nautical miles, away from Dayton Airport. And we have tuned the ATIS already and gotten the altimeter, which is 29990. We're going to be landing and departing, well, not departing, we will be landing on runway 18. So we're going to be flying pretty much straight in. So we should go ahead and start our descent now. I'm going to go ahead and click off the autopilot. Or not the autopilot entirely, just the nav hold. And we are going to start coming down. We're going to keep the fuel mixture leaned, and we actually had plenty of fuel. Once we leaned out that mixture, we ended up using about 5 gallons to get down here. Let's see, we started with 12 and 13 in the tanks, and now we've got 8 and 12. So, I forgot to switch it over halfway through the flight. We are on the left tank, though. Thankfully, 4 gallons isn't that big of a difference. I have gone like 2 or 3 hours without switching the tanks before, though. I did use time acceleration to get here, so it's been about 15-20 minutes of cruise. And our local time is 1:37. So hopefully we can get on the ground quickly, because I'm pretty sure the job expires at 1:56. So we got about 20 minutes. Once we're within 20 miles, I am going to go ahead and call Dayton. I'm going to go ahead and stick the heading indicator right on 180 just so we can remember which way the runway is going to be facing. And this is the biggest airport we've flown to so far, and the biggest airport that I've flown to in the series. Well, since I've started playing Air Hauler again. Dayton is, of course, a large international airport, and Dayton City is where the Air Force Museum is. Which, if you ever have the opportunity to go there, I would highly, highly recommend it. I've been there a few times myself, but of course I'm from Ohio, so it's really not that big of a deal to go spend the day in Dayton for me. Alright, let's go ahead and tune the tower,
Dayton Tower.
or call the tower.
56730 is 21 miles northwest with Alpha to land. Piper, November 56730, Dayton Tower, mixed rated, runway 18, altimeter 29er. Fly straight in, runway 18, Piper 730.
Alright, I'm going to re-enable my track IR so it might bounce around a second. There we go. Alright, we do have the landing lights on. Once we actually can see the runway, that's when we'll go full mixture and put the fuel pump back on. We're going to need to get under these clouds too. They just kind of popped up out of nowhere, didn't they? Alright, so some changes that have gone on in my life. I mentioned in the last video I'd kind of give you guys an overview of what's happened. Well, in the fall, last year, fall of 2017, was when I stopped making videos. And that was because I started being a lot more active in my personal life, started spending less time in the computer, more time outside, kayaking, camping, that kind of thing. Which I still do, but I've found time for the computer again. I also moved out of my parents' house into my own apartment. I also got a new job. If you remember, I was working private EMS and working on a fire department, which is still the case, but I've changed my private EMS job to one that's quite a lot more professional. Higher pay, better hours, so I now work 24-hour shifts at the private EMS company I'm at now. And then I work 24 hours and have 48 hours off, but during that 48 hours off, I work 12 hours at the fire department. So the day that I have off, I'm spending an hour working out every day, and then making videos for YouTube is what my current plan is. When I have time off on the weekends, I won't be working on YouTube because that's when I see my girlfriend. So yeah, that's the short version of everything that's happened to me in the last year that I haven't been making videos. Well, that's pretty much all I'm going to say. Alright, we can see the airport now. So I'm going to go full rich on the mixture and click on the fuel pumps, even though we're not really on final yet. I'm also going to turn off the autopilot. Oh. I really need to find a safe lubricator to use on this yoke. As I'm sure you guys can hear, it's quite creaky. And sometimes I'll be putting pressure on it and then it'll just like give suddenly, and that causes jerky movements, which are not ideal. I don't think I'm going to use the flaps for landing. We're going to have a long enough runway that even if we have a bit of a long landing, it's not going to be a big deal. Get rid of that. So we should be at 75 to 85 miles an hour for landing. And then basically going to let it roll out. Alright, we're going to intercept a little more aggressively. Have a short final. As I just looked at the clock again, we have 10 minutes to get on the ground and unloaded. Plenty of time to slow down once we can actually see the airport clearly. During the cruise, I did just watch Frugal Sim's latest news video for June 3rd. Today's June 3rd, Sunday. And some really nice looking stuff coming out for X-Plane, as far as aircraft and sceneries, which gets me excited. I hope that Just Flight releases Air Hauler 2 for X-Plane, because if they do, the next Air Hauler series will definitely be an X-Plane. I love X-Plane. It is a gorgeous sim. It's, modern compared to FSX, which is dated from 2006. Which, don't get me wrong, I love FSX, I love A2A and real air simulations. I just wish those companies would migrate over to X-Plane. Coronado and Alabeo are developing, or Alabeo, I don't know how you say their name, but they're developing planes for X-Plane, and they look pretty good. They're not completely, fully accurate aircraft like A2A. Or I shouldn't say A2A planes are, fully accurate, but Coronado and Alabeo don't match A2A or Real Air's quality or realism, but they're still really good. I utilize some of their aircraft. Actually, I don't know if I have any Alabeo planes, but I definitely have a handful of Coronado planes. In fact, I probably have more Coronado planes than any other developer. Besides maybe A2A, because I have the A2A P-51, B-17, Boeing 377, both of their Cessnas, and this Piper. And I'm thinking about buying their other Piper. Alright, so we've been cleared to land, so now we'll bring the power back. 8 minutes to get unloaded. Thankfully, Dayton's not a huge airport. It is an international airport. It is fairly large, but it's not, like Cleveland Hopkins International or Detroit Wayne, or Detroit Metro Wayne. or New York's John F. Kennedy Airport. It's an international airport, but it's moderately sized. I think our initial goal is for the company is to have hubs all around the Great Lakes, and we're going to be a Great Lakes centered airline doing hops to the Erie Islands, up to the Upper Peninsula, along the coast of Canada, Niagara Falls.
500.
I'm really liking Air Hauler 2.
Minimums.
We
100.
are coming in fast, but we got plenty of runway to bleed off speed, so
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
I need to be better about landing on the center line, that's for sure.
Piper 73 Sierra, turn next taxiway.
Now hopefully ground gives me parking like right in here. That would be perfect.
Piper 73 Sierra, contact ground on 121.9er. 121.9er, Piper 73 Sierra. Dayton ground, Piper November 5673 Sierra, request taxi to parking. Piper November 5673 Sierra, taxi to general aviation parking. Taxiway Zulu, Romeo, Mike, Papa.
Alright, which way do they want me to go?
General aviation parking via taxiway Zulu, Romeo, Mike, Papa.
Behind me.
3 Sierra.
And whoops, I'm sorry, I just hit my mic with my head. Because I was trying to use track IR. They seriously want me to go behind? Yep. Just recrossing the active runway, no big deal. I don't see anything coming in, so just gonna zip across. Seems pretty deserted for an international airport. I do have traffic turned up. But I'd expect at least 2 other planes on the ground. I guess we are quite a ways away from our starting position. They would give me parking way out here. I only have 2 minutes to make this job. Come on. We're going all the way over there. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Maybe we'll be allowed to complete the job. We'll just have a little bit of a late fee. I'd be alright with that. This is a $10,000 job that we're doing. I'd be alright with paying a little bit of a late fee as long as we can still get, say, $8,000 out of it. That would be great. I'm thinking about hiring another pilot, but I might wait to do that until I have the Beechcraft B60, and then I'd let the new pilot fly my Piper that I'm currently in. However, if I buy another Piper, I'll be able to buy another Piper probably today, and then hire another pilot, and that's, just another person generating income for us. But it would also cost, all of my money. So I don't really know if it's worth it or not. I would ask what you guys think, but I'm trying to make 5 episodes before I post one. That way I have a buffer if I'm not able to make a video a certain week. Which also means, unfortunately, it's going to be a while before Blake Johnson gets his name changed. Alright, get parked. Cut off the engine. Alright. We're down. Please, 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 please give me money. Yes! It accepted it. I'm not sure what that expiration date means, if that just means you have to accept the job before that time, or if you have to complete the job before that time. I assume it means you have to complete the job before that time, but I guess I don't really know. Let's take a peek as to what's going on here. Alright, so Blake Johnson is starting his last journey down here to Port Columbus International. And once he does that, we'll have another $9,500 payday. We are now down here in Dayton. It hasn't updated this yet for some reason, even though it updated that the job is gone. So we can go ahead and do this and get another $8,000. And kind of see where we are after that. Going from here to here to here. That should put him most of the way down here. And we're now up to $167,000. Let's take a look. Company information, finance. Oh, that's info. Finance. So we've just kind of been steadily making cash. Our overhead is $17,000 thereabouts, and we're making more than that a day. And that overhead is per month, I believe. That's our expenditure. 45% what? Pilots? Probably. Pilots, bases, and then fleet size. Anyway. So we've made $82,000 since we've started the company. If we take a look at the ledger. Oh, that was an $11,000 job. Sweet. Alright, there's the landing fee, fuel, landing fees. Then we got the sun cream job that Blake Johnson did. cargo job income from Blake Johnson. Man, look at Blake Johnson just going. It's been a couple days since I've been able to fly, but I've kept Blake Johnson busy. Blake Johnson. You know, Blake Johnson is kind of an iconic name. It's going to be sad when I change it. Maybe I'll name pilots after you guys, but keep Blake Johnson as Blake Johnson. I don't know. What do you guys think? Change Blake Johnson's name or keep him as Blake Johnson? Certified badass. I mean, we could take out a loan, but I'd really rather not. You know what? Let's take a look at bases. Let's see how much it would cost to open a base. Oh, right. We have to actually be at an airport to see how much it would cost. I just wanted to research. Oh well. KBIV, it's like right around here. So we're going to have to find a way to have an excuse to stop out at KBIV again. That's alright. How's Blake Johnson doing? Doing well. He only has one job assigned, and that's this one. And then I'm going to let him rest. Because he's been working very hard, and I don't want him to crash the plane out of exhaustion. If we take a peek at what other jobs are here, if any have generated, because quite a few have probably expired now. We still have a couple that are due today. I don't think they're going to be done, because they're relatively low paying. We got a few $9,000 ones. Toys and Games from Toledo coming down to Athens, Ohio University Field. $7,000 worth of building materials. And that's going all the way out here to Tell City. Ooh, something originating from Canada. Just over the border in Detroit and Windsor, going to Livingston. That's only worth $1,400. But it is only a 50-mile journey, I mean, what do you expect? $10,000 for building materials. K-20 coming up to Toledo, but we're definitely not going to be able to fit that onto our aircraft all in one go, and that's quite a trek to fly there, fly back empty, and then fly there again. I mean, we could take a load up and then assign it to Blake Johnson. Blake Johnson could jump down here and fly up. It's $10,000. Ooh, here's one for televisions. From 3FM to KTOL. I'm going to accept that one because we have to go from here to here at some point anyway, and then we could just jump up here and come back down to Toledo. So I will go ahead and accept that one. We got an $11,000 one coming out of Dayton, and this is coming all the way up here. 917 pounds. I think we would be able to do it because we had so much fuel spare coming here, and it's an additional 100 miles pretty much. We could always stop and refuel somewhere if we had to. That's an $11,000 job. And that's basically from where we are now. I'd still do this job really quick and then jump back to Dayton and then fly up here. I mean, we can't not do that. That's an $11,000 job. So we'll do this job, fly up here, jump back across the lake, do this, jump back across the lake again, do that. At least puts us in the region where we're on the same screen as everything else. Alright, we're doing it. Alright guys, but that is it for this video. In fact, I may cut out some of what we were just doing. You can see I accepted a couple of jobs. And I will see you for the next one. I'm going to do some of this flying off camera. I might come back while we head back to Toledo. But I got quite a few legs. I'm here in Dayton. I'm going to be flying here to here, then coming back to Dayton to pick up some cargo to fly out to Wisconsin. Then from Wisconsin, I'm coming back to Michigan, and then doing one from Michigan back across to Wisconsin, and then I'm doing one from Michigan to Toledo. I might bring it back for the Michigan to Toledo. Or we'll actually probably bring you back for one of the Lake Michigan crossings. But until then, have a good one, guys.